Finding random frames in the Batman until it's ugly. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. This is a cool shot. You have a more hard light coming from this direction and a more soft, maybe bounce or maybe just soft fill light coming from this direction. He has an eye light. Gorgeous shot. Not ugly. Let's go towards the beginning. 1, 2, 3. The first thing I'll say about this image is that yes, it is dark, but the entire movie is dark, and dark does not necessarily mean ugly. In fact, lighting scenes like this often take more lighting skill than lighting a very bright scene, because you have to be very particular, very precise about where you put your lights in dark scenes so that you don't overexpose the image. The DP Greig Fraser actually mentions this in American Cinematographer, where he says that there is a very particular place he had to put the key light in order to get these nice eye lights you see right here without overexposing the bat suit, because you don't want Batman to look overexposed, but you also want to see into his eyes. You want to see his character, because at his core, Batman is a character, and that's what eye lights do. It helps the audience connect with the character on screen, because the eyes are the windows to the soul, as they say. Definitely not ugly. Let's go towards the end. 1, 2, 3. Again, we just see very precise lighting on Batman's face. You see an eye light right here, and his face is lit, but his suit is not overexposed at all. And this is a very tricky thing, because as you can see, his suit is pretty reflective. It's got a lot of places where you can go wrong. You can screw this up very easily, and that's just another testament to how good Greig Fraser is. Not ugly. Let's go towards the middle. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so this shot happens during the major chase scene of the film, and the thing to know about this is I think the camera is actually attached to the car while the car is moving this way, and you might be asking yourself, Kevin, that's a very dangerous thing to do, put a $100,000 camera and lens package on a car like that during a stunt. Well, you'll be happy to know that they actually used cheaper Arri Alexa cameras to do this shot. They're probably only costing $20,000 instead of $70,000, and they use cheaper lenses as well. The lenses are actually the interesting part, because I have actually used some of the lenses they used for this chase scene on my short film when I was in college. Specifically, they used Helios lenses, which they found on ironglass.com, which is a company that rehouses old Soviet lenses. You can get 3 of them for $12,000. However, that's not what I did for my short film. I actually bought a Helios 442 lens on eBay for like $50. I'm looking at eBay right now, and you can get one for like 95. I'm seeing 95, 80, 125. And the thing about these lenses that I love so much is that they have a lot of character. Here's a shot from my short film that I shot with it. Notice the circular bokeh and the distortion it has. It just looks cooler than normal modern cinematic lenses, in my opinion. And it's only like $100 on eBay. And professional DPs are using stuff like this. Don't be afraid to use cheap lenses as long as they look cool. The other thing about this shot that I found cool when researching this film is actually the water droplets on screen right here. You can see that there is a water droplet on the camera lens that is kind of distorting this light and making it look kind of like a spider web. That is actually a purposeful decision by the DP. It is a fake water drop on the lens. Not the best looking shot as a still frame, but not ugly. Let's go towards this area. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now this is a set piece in a set that I really want to talk about. Okay, so the way they did this set for this scene is actually kind of nuts. I think this is the funeral scene where the car comes crashing in. The thing you need to know about this scene is that these big windows right here are fake. All of this back here is CGI. And that is the great thing about this film in particular, is that it uses VFX and CGI in a very unassuming way. You can't really tell that they're using it in most of the situations. Instead, they did build a huge set for this scene, but building windows like this would be extremely expensive. Instead, they just used cutout fabric in the shape of the windows. Here's a behind the scenes photo of what I'm talking about. You can see this actually isn't a window. It's just a big piece of fabric that they have windows cut out of. And then on the opposite side of that is this. You can see these lights are just hanging right here and then shooting this way and bouncing off another giant piece of white fabric, and that light is then bouncing into the window. Now in the film world, a cutout like this is called a gobo. A lot of times you'll see much smaller gobos being used in front of lights to like give a kind of tree shadow effect or something. There'll be little cookie cutter cutouts that they put in front of lights that create shadows, but this is just on a whole nother level. It's kind of wild. Not ugly. Let's go around this area. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Okay. I kind of love this shot. I think color is like the main thing my eyes are drawn to at first. I just love pops of color in things, and you can also see the color back here in the neon sign. And there's also a lot of texture in the lighting. There's a lot of contrast. There's a lot of interesting things going on. There's lights back here, there's light over here, there's light right here, and there's light on her face, obviously, contrasted with the darkness over here, and the darkness right here, and the darkness right here. There's just a lot going on in this image, and it's a very good example of precise lighting because, again, we can see the light on her face It's very soft, it's very nice, but the light is not spilling onto her costume at all. Definitely not ugly. Let's go towards the middle. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Yep, another one. I just want to look at some other frames in this scene, honestly. Yeah, this seems gorgeous. I love this scene. And this would also be a good time to talk about the kind of lenses they use on this film. As you can see, we have some bokeh back here that is more oval shaped, meaning that they shot this on an anamorphic lens. Specifically, they shot this on an Arri Alpha anamorphic lens. And apparently Arri reached out to Greig Fraser about using these lenses on this film, and he thought they were originally too clean looking for this film. And so they went and made a version 2 of the Alpha anamorphics, and when they came back to him with version 2, he found them to be a lot more, have a lot more character, a little bit more distorted on the edges and everything, and he thought that was a much better look for this type of film. Definitely not ugly. Let's go back towards the end. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's really cool. So researching this shot is actually a little mind-blowing. Apparently all of this is just CGI, besides this like little stand right here. I think this stand is practical, and I think maybe all of this, I don't know, I can't quite tell, but I think most of this image is CGI, and that's kind of amazing. As you can see by this BTS photo, the only practical thing I see is the ticket booth right here. I'm sure they added more to this set after this picture was taken, but you can tell it's mostly CGI. All of the stuff back here is CGI, and it's just very impressive, especially since they had to build this giant softbox right here. This is a huge softbox that they have tons of lights. And I think you can tell what the softbox is lighting if I zoom in. The softbox is lighting the top of the ticket booth right here, and it is lighting these people. Who knows if these people are real or CGI, I don't know, but the softbox is doing a lot of the lighting down in this area. Not ugly, let's go right here. 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, yeah, a completely different style of lighting in this frame, but it works for sure. Not ugly. Let's go towards the end again. 1, 2, 3. I love the use of color in some of these shots. Like when they use color, it really pops. The blue in the last shot, the red in this, the red in Cat Lady's hair. Cat Lady, I know it's not Cat Lady. Don't at me. It just works. Okay, let's go towards the very end. 1, 2, 3. Again, not an ugly shot. I'm gonna start going faster. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Not an ugly shot. 1, 2, 3. Not an ugly shot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think the main reason I don't think this shot looks very good is because there is a lot of compression in the blacks, and that's a problem you get with streaming. As you can see here, I don't know if you can see this on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, but there's a lot of compression, a lot of digital noise in the blacks right here, and that is due to the streaming platform that I screen recorded this off of. And that's the problem with dark movies. That's the problem with underexposed movies, is that if you stream them, they are heavily compressed, and compression does not do well for black parts of the image. So if you are a fan of this film and you want it to look the best it can possibly look, you have to get a 4K disc. But I can't really hold the bad compression against the DP or the filmmakers at all. It's a fine shot if it didn't have all that compression. Okay, next, we're gonna find an ugly frame. We're gonna find an ugly frame. Here we go, here we go, here we go. 1. Okay. I kind of like this. It's kind of cool. I know I can't really see what's going on, but the framing's actually kind of fun, where it's kind of her arms blocking his face, and you have all of these layers of depth, and not ugly. Okay, here, 1, 2, 3. Another shot of Batman, not ugly. 1, 2, 3. Overhead shot of a car, not ugly. 1, 2, 3. Not ugly. 1, 2, 3. Not ugly. By the way, is that the guy in American Fiction? Because he was really good in that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is this shot ugly? Again, I'm sure the entire fight scene looks good, but this particular frame, unfortunately, fight frames have a lot of bad frames in them. You can't really do much about that. So, sorry, but it's ugly.